Okay. Yeah. So I go by J Slai. From Santa Clara, California, originally from Mexico. I produce hardcore, speed house, hard dance, and anything in between. But I focus mostly on pushing the hard dance sound in um, Northern California and all the world, really, because
Yeah,
yeah, there's a bunch of things that I'm doing internationally.
that's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, mostly, and right now I'm getting to speed house a lot, and it's something that I made a lot of really good connections through speed house, and I'm blessed to be part of it.
That's sweet. Um, when did you move from Mexico?
Came here when I was 7 years old. Um,
Okay,
Basically, dude, that story is crazy because I came here illegally, and I crossed the border. Like I came through as another person. But we used someone else's papers and
gotcha.
shit, and I got kidnapped
Oh shit.
and held at ransom that week. So they were telling my parents like, "Yo, if you don't have like another rack, we're gonna keep your kid." Blah blah blah. So it was crazy,
Dude,
man.
that's wild.
So, but yeah, you know what? Like coming here to America gives me like a different mentality. I want to work hard and
Yeah.
achieve what I want to put my mind into. So
Well,
it was a good
it shows,
experience
man.
in the end. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
When did you start making music? How long ago was that?
Ooh, let me see. Let me pull it up because I need to figure out. I don't know myself. Let's see. I'll let you know when I put my first release out. Let's see. So I first started making music. Let's see. Mm, oh shit. I think it was like 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 3.5 years ago. I decided I had been playing shows for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing, Pure Nightclub. I was playing SJ Live in San Jose, and pretty solid venues. But you
Right.
know what? I always felt like people were copying my style when I was playing shows, and I felt like I needed to distance myself from everybody else that was in the local scene.
Yeah.
And so I'm very I'm the type of person that will value like structure. And so I decided, okay, the only way I'm really going to learn is if I sit down in a classroom and, actually have a structure. Because if I don't, then I'm just going to sit there on YouTube and I find nothing, right? You end
Right.
up in a hole of like nothingness. Next thing you know, you're watching conspiracy theories and
Right.
shit. And so I decided I was going to start applying for Icon Collective. And so
Okay.
I applied to Icon, and I went there for a quarter. And when I asked for like different type of help, they just told me I wasn't ready for it. And that, I don't know, to me, it was like, when somebody needs help on something, like you should provide that help. So
Absolutely.
no slight to Icon, but it just wasn't for me.
Right.
But that school, like, is exactly what I needed to get started because they taught me every single thing I needed to know as far as basics went. So yeah, I think that was 3.5 years ago, I would say.
That's funny that you say that because I'm actually planning on going to Icon next year for their music business program.
Again, I said no slight to them.
Yeah. No.
They're an amazing school. It's just I had a different pace in mind.
Yeah.
And they told me you need to be patient, and I'm a very impatient person because if I hear something in my music that I personally want to change, like I need support on that,
Yeah.
And sometimes Icon didn't support me, and so, but I know a lot of people that go to Icon, and they're patient, unlike me, and they get what they want, So great school, very expensive.
Yes.
So, are you doing the program where you're doing online?
No, I'm gonna be in class. So my plan is January,
nice.
and I'm gonna be doing the business program. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think you'll like it, especially all the people that you're gonna meet there, man.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
And I already have one of my buddies. he's going to be moving down. He was a student already, but because of COVID and everything, he had to move back, and he's doing some other stuff in the meantime right now. But his plan.
So what are you gonna do with business there? What's your plan? That's the big plan.
I want to get an artist management.
Let me shift the focus. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What made you go into that?
Honestly, like I just started working. I was a promoter, and then I got into production teams. Was working for Symphonic and National Entity. I've actually worked a couple shows at the Hero Bus show that you played for National Entity.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was Frostbite, right?
Yes, I was working that show. It was one of the shows I worked for them.
That show was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Hayden's a great guy. Hero Bust. Yeah, so then I started working production teams, and then I was just like, man, like at the time I was farming, and then because that's what my dad does, and I was working for him full time, and then I was like, just being really pulled by the music industry and stuff, and people who listen to my podcast already know that I grew up. I went to my first concert when I was like 3 years old. My mom's a huge concert music lover.
What concert was that?
Kenny Loggins.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, he's like a classic rock.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done. Do you know the movie Top Gun?
Yeah, I do.
So all the soundtrack for that was done by Kenny Loggins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just grew up going to concerts and stuff, and then I went into started being a part of the rave culture and industry and stuff, and I was like, kind of just saw a way for me to I was like, man, could I do this for a living? And
yeah.
I heard about Icon, their music business program that opened up. I was like, okay, that's what I need to do, and I
that's your sign, right?
Yeah. So then I started the podcast, and I'm working with a mentor right now and stuff. So. So yeah, this is hopefully growing this platform so that I can have this to help manage and grow other artists' music and them as a brand too. So yeah, that's my kind of story.
That's good. Yeah, I had to flip it back on you one time.
Yeah, you're good. Most people don't do that, so I appreciate it.
No, yeah, it's good.
So what were some of your early inspirations and what got you into the music that you make?
So I was huge on like Keizo. The early Keizo.
Yeah.
So
he's definitely changed a little bit.
His sound has changed.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the change, to be honest, but I mean, people change and that's what they want to make. So boom.
Yep.
But yeah, I was a big Keizo fan back in like 2013, 14. No, actually, let's say 14, 15, 16. And I was just like the energy he brought to Hardstyle in live shows was very different because he was accepted by the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of hardstyle artists were not accepted by the mainstream,
no.
and
so they definitely a different kind of platform. The only other person I know of is like now at least is like Lil Texas is like he's very accepted by them.
Yes. So it was like for me it was like okay, like if he can do that, I can do that.
Right.
And so then I started playing more hardstyle in my shows. But I've been listening to hardstyle since like 2008 with Showtek and all these other old school artists like Deepak the Pitcher.
Yeah, Showtek is fire. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, they go hard and yeah, man. So I just I started throwing it into my sets as a DJ, and I would play it in places where they didn't want me to play it. So. So like Pure Nightclub, and there's called Pure Lounge now. I would get booked there, and I would close my set out at like 150 BPM. Mind you, this is like a house club,
right?
So or like a EDM like top 40 type club, and they would get really mad at me. And yeah, man. So that felt good to kind of break the rules in a way, but also like I see people are accepting it little by little,
right?
And in the Bay Area, no one really played hard dance in their sets
Dude,
when I started.
Still barely anyone. That's why I wanted to have you on because I like bringing variety to, especially someone who's local, dude. Like, I think keep running with it, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. So basically, just seeing people react to it and the energy that it brought just made me want to keep going. As far as like musical, I want to sound like this person, I want to sound like that person, like. I've never been the type to listen to EDM on my spare time. I listen to like R&B and chill shit, like things that you would not expect that I would listen to, right? And I listen to metal and shit like that. But But yeah, I don't really sit there and be like, oh, I want to sound like this person
Right.
or anything. But I did get some influences from like Sub-Zero Project and who else? Sick Mode is a good inspiration right now. Just people that sound different, not cookie cutter, because there is cookie cutter hardstyle too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So yeah, I just want to be different, push the boundaries every time that I make a song, and not be lazy with it.
That's interesting that you were saying that you listen to other forms of music. I know in November, Symphonic threw another show that was Tasoki.
A reggae
and,
one?
No, Tasoki and Minesweeper and Atelians headlined.
Okay.
And I was in charge of artist transportation. So being with those guys and stuff and like what they were playing, so I just gave them the aux cord in my car, and they were playing like just like hip hop and like other stuff. I'm like, dude, you guys are like some big name like bass DJs. Like, when you listen to this kind of stuff, it's like, and the more like once that moment happened, I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of producers that actually just listen to like other
Normal
stuff.
shit.
Like,
yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, honestly, you just get tired of it. Like,
I feel it.
Because you're making music for hours,
Yeah.
and you just want to break it from your regular. You want to break your ears a little bit.
It helps your creativity process too.
Yeah, definitely. You'll hear it even in my hardcore. You'll hear like a lot of hip hop breaks, because that's what I grew up listening to, and that's that kind of producer I made. Yeah.
Right. Well, since the bass music scene is so heavy, and especially in Northern California, what has your experience been like as a different, sound coming into the scene, like as far as bookings and like stuff like that being accepted? Like, tell us a little bit about that process for you.
In the beginning, I gave up a lot of my sound to get shows. So there was a lot of times where people wanted to book me. They're like, hey, you can't play any hard dance. And I would say, like, you know what? Like, I need the exposure, like, bad. Because back then, the gratification was you play a show and, you get pictures of the show, you get your likes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's still it still is this way as well. But back then, it was a little harder. Like, people went harder for likes, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I lost my sound, I would say, before I even had it, because people didn't even know what kind of set I was going to play. I could play anything, but so in the beginning, I did lose a lot of my own image, I would say, the first 2 years when I DJ'd before producing. And then once I started producing my own music, shows like DNA Lounge, they book a lot of hard dance shows.
Yes, they do.
It was like on a smaller scale.
I used to work for Olympus, so I'm very familiar.
Oh, yeah. So you know, right. Yeah. But it was on a smaller scale. But even though it was on a smaller scale, the energy was like times 100 compared to the energy you go to like a top like club like Pure Lounge or Aura. You go to these shows and people are kind of just there to flex, and that they're there to pop a bottle or whatever. But at DNA, people go for the music and the bookings after that, I stopped taking bookings if they didn't let me play what I wanted, because, at the end of the day, I make my music, so you better let me play my shit.
Right. Don't book me if you don't like my music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they already have that expectation, unless it's like a show I really, really want to play, like, I don't know, like, it's hard to say. Let's see. Like, let's say it's a hip hop show, like some random hip hop show, and I want to play hip hop. Like, I'll take that show, but I will conform to the rules because I know what's expected. Right. But other than that, like, if it's something EDM or like, something local like that, it's actually really cool playing as the hardstyle or hardcore DJ, because people are playing dubstep the whole time. All of a sudden, boom, someone comes and changes up the whole fucking night, like the whole flow for an hour, and it catches everybody off guard. The energy is way different. So yeah, I guess when people book me now, like they know what they're getting themselves into now, because back in the day they would be mad. Like if I played before a headliner, they'd book me, and I still have a conscious mind, like like you gotta respect the headliner. So bring the energy level like towards the 45-minute mark. Bring it back down to like a chill out zone before they come in. I respect that, but some bookies don't understand that part. So they think like, oh, he went hard the first 20 minutes, so like now we can't ever book him. So
Right.
but now I feel like they know that if you're gonna book me, like either I'm closing or but I'm not opening. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it hasn't been negative. I wouldn't say negative. Obviously not as much shows, but I'd rather take quality shows over shows where I lose myself sonically.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, when you produce a lot of your own music too, it's like that's you, that's your brand, that's your sound. Like it'd be like saying like, "Hey, Ghastly, play," or like, yeah, 'cause he's like a bass house kind of producer, dubstep producer.
Play hardstyle.
Play hardstyle. Like what? No.
Yeah, no. And you know, it's important for producers to know their value and their brand because, like I said, you're gonna get lost in the sauce in the beginning. If you want to take all these shows, great, it looks good for you for your 15 minutes of fame and a couple hundred likes, but in the long run, it's not gonna help you. So that's what I learned.
Yeah, I feel it. What's out of all those shows, because you are selective, what has been one of like the biggest shows you've played?
I played a show and I opened up for 4B.
Oh, sick.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that was at the Warfield.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very good venue.
Yeah,
Great.
I was at the Warfield. I believe it was the Warfield, or I don't know. It was one of those like kind of not Bill Graham, but like the ones below it.
Warfield or possibly Midway or something like that.
No, there's another. The Ballroom. It's a ballroom. What's it called?
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Well, it was one of those. I would say there was like when I played, there was like 1,000 people there. Okay. And that was a fucking lot of people for an opening set.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because it's 4B. He's gonna play some crazy shit. So I was like, okay, like we can probably get away with like 3 or 4 like crazy songs. Right. Bring it down the energy. Yeah. So we did that, and I played one of my bootlegs there. I have a video of that shit. It's fucking crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting it to go off like that because I hadn't played it in front of like a big ass crowd. It was I kind of just been playing it for like a couple people, and boom, I played it, and you can see the energy in my emotions because I'm like this, and all of a sudden like I hear the crowd just go crazy. I'm like, yes. Yeah, that was a good one, and I think my second favorite show. I would say it's between the Frostbite show. Yeah. Because that was fun. Yeah. That was a lot of people there. Yeah. That one or when I opened up for Dioro, which sick. Which was really fun. I got a 2-hour extended set that night. Oh. Because the guy after me didn't show up. Nice. And I was playing some crazy shit, bro. Like I was playing like Hi-Fi, I was playing like Moonbaton, everything. That's awesome. And then and then Dioro came through, so that was cool. That's cool. But yeah, it's just been fun, man. I like doing live shows. I definitely miss them, man.
Yeah. We've had Dirty Disco Firefly events on. My 3rd episode, I think, of the podcast. You've done a live stream for them during the quarantine.
Yeah, I've done 2 now.
Done 2. Okay, I was like, I think you've done more than 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done 2. I love those guys. They work really hard at what they do, and they're really good at what they do.
Yeah, I worked with them yesterday, so yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
They're always plugged in with this phonic team, so.
Yeah, they work really hard, man, and they're good people. So
they're very good people.
Shouts out to them, man.
Yeah. Have you done any more live streams other than with them, or?
Yeah, I've done a bunch. I did a live stream for Fresh LA from Los Angeles, and they do hard dance shows over there called Hardstyle Arena.
That's sick.
It's very well known over there. And then what else? I did Speed World with F Word just recently.
Oh, cool.
So House of Panda, he's the A&R and label head for Speed House movement. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's just been growing his brand. And Tommy Sunshine is it's like a branch of label from Brooklyn Fire. Okay. And I met them through that, and they've just been hosting a bunch of like festivals and stuff. virtual festivals.
Right.
And yeah, I was able to play a lot of those with them. They're really cool people.
Yeah.
House of Panda's from Canada, and Tommy's from New York, I believe.
Okay.
Tommy Sunshine. And I'm glad I met them through the Speed House movement.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they've just been really cool people, man. And I see a lot of opportunities there.
That's what you're saying earlier when you're like, you've been feeling a lot of love from the Speed House kind of.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like every time I play a set, it's like if for them, like I get a bunch of follows, a bunch of people like just telling me like how much fun they had during the set.
That's sick.
And that's the cool thing about like virtual like raves or virtual sets, because someone could have like a shitty ass day and bring them happiness for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and that's amazing, man.
I have personal experience with that. I mean, I've been obviously Insomniac's been killing it with their live streams, but that Park and Rave series and stuff. But yeah, like I'm having a rough week or something. I'm just like, oh, I have this show like coming up tonight. Like, yes. Even if it's just me chilling in my room, like I'm like, this is great. So
it's a cheer me up,
Yeah. All right, so I want to dive in a little bit of like you as a person, because I do like getting to know the artist on a little bit more of a personal level.
Sure.
What kinds of stuff do you do outside of music? You work? You go to school or do anything like that?
No, I graduated from San Jose State with a BA in English,
nice.
2015. So
damn,
it's been a while.
That's the year I graduated from high school.
Yeah, way to make me feel old, man. Yeah, so I graduated 2015. I was a teacher for 3 years after that. I taught 4th, 5th grade English, and then I taught Spanish K through 5 the last year I was teaching.
Nice.
And I just felt like that wasn't for me. It's kind of corny, but I was watching, what was it? A video from Gary Vee. And
dude, I watch Gary Vee's shit a lot.
But it's so corny that was the reason, right? So So boom, I kept watching his videos. I'm like, oh man, like I'm gonna buy his book. So I bought his book, and I read this sentence that said like, you shouldn't be looking forward to the weekend. And it just made so much sense to me. I was just like, yo, like, how many times I go into like work, and I'm like, fuck, it's Monday, or like, fuck, like. It's finally Friday and everybody's so happy. Like, why should we be celebrating a fucking Friday? Like, it's ridiculous. So then he told basically in the book, he goes on to say like, if you're doing this, then you need to get out of that job immediately, and obviously plan it, right? Yeah. So that you're in a position where you don't have to be doing that. And so I decided that for my mental health and for my own dreams, that I was gonna stop teaching and just really fucking do this full time.
Go for it, yeah.
So I've been producing like crazy, and I think it's paid off. Yeah, I think after I started teaching, or I stopped teaching, I just made me happier and making the music that I want to make, and and the hardest part about that was going to my dad and telling him like, this is not what I want to do. Like, you helped me through school, and I appreciate that, but I don't want to do this. It's not good for my mental health, and this is what I want to do. And so getting that parental support, from parents, especially Latino parents.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard. It was hard at first, because he was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I just helped you pay through college, and you're going to quit?
Yeah, just turn around and leave it.
Yeah, exactly. It took a while for him to really understand the success and how it was going to look for me. It wasn't going to be like, your typical success story. But it was going to take longer, and it was going to be like a different type of win every time. It wasn't going to be a diploma.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you're a full-time musician now then?
Right now, I have a side job where I help with international accounts at a company.
Okay.
And so what I do, since I'm a fluent speaker in Spanish, is I help them out with like corporate orders and stuff, and it's just like something that pays the bills, Like I said, you have to have a plan, right? So you can't just quit and expect that it's gonna happen overnight. So it'll be a while. I think it'll be a while before I quit my day job.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at what happened right now, right, with the pandemic.
Right.
And a lot of DJs don't know what to do because they quit their day jobs, and ended up now like playing small shows for a couple $100, and
Yeah.
you gotta have a plan, So
Yeah. Well, that's what
it happened to a lot of people, man.
I was listening
It's
to.
sad.
I don't know if you're a fan of Wooly or not, but I was listening.
Oh,
to
they're dope. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a guy or
It's a
it's
guy.
two guys.
One
Okay,
guy.
okay.
Yeah. I was listening to an interview with him that he did with another podcast. And he was saying like he still has like, even though he's a pretty big artist. I mean, he plays Lost Lands, plays like he tours, like he does like
Yeah, he's very
established.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his main source of income. But his dad owns a financial advising company. So he still has like that on the side. He was like, we're not going to be DJs forever. He was like, once I'm done with this, like I'm going to probably go back to that and I'll still have money coming in. I'll still have a job. So,
I mean, you have to have a plan, man. Cause
yeah. And not everyone's plan looks like that, but I just thought it was cool that he like kind of set it up that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Like me, like if everything was to go to shit and like, the biggest person in the industry told me you're blackballed. You can never do music again, which is never gonna happen.
No, yeah.
but if that happened, I have a fallback. I can go back to teaching if I really wanted to, you know. But that's not what I want to do right now. Like, Gary Vee always says these are the times where you want to fail, and if I'm gonna fail at something, I'm gonna fail at the thing I love.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got to give it a shot, man. You never know what's going to happen from it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so going based off that, what's your long-term goals as a musician? Where do you see yourself in the next like 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so in the next 5 years, like, it has to happen. Well, it got to the point where I'm like punishing myself now, so I'm not gonna do any more festivals as an attendee.
Okay.
Like EDC, I used to go to EDC every year, Hard Summer every year.
Yeah.
But it's time to really put the focus and be on the lineup because I feel like if you imagine something every single day, like there's a reason why God is putting that in your head.
Absolutely.
Like, it's because you can do it. It's not because it's not a coincidence that He's giving you that. And I've seen my tracks played at festivals. I see the kind of power they have. Mm-hmm. So it's just like if that person could do it, and sometimes like half of the time I'm in the crowd like, man, I can do much better than that. I hate that. I hate that because the attendee mentality is gone for me. Now it's a work, so
I feel that just from a business perspective. Like I still like being an attendee. I just bought my tickets for Lost Lands this coming year. But
nice.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm like I see everything from like a different lens now.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Because
like,
now, like you see your friend.
People that like wouldn't even notice certain things. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I see that. Okay, I see how they ran that. Oh, I really like that's a cool idea. Just from literally at the stage.
And it sucks because you're like, sometimes it's cool, but like half of the time you see your friends having such a ball, and you're like, damn, these fuckers don't know that this is going down right now. Like this is, but they're like living in bliss. So but for me, I just get there's a voice in my head that tells me like, you are meant to do this, and that's what I want to do in the next 5 years. I would say playing festivals within 3 years. Mm-hmm. Hopefully playing main stage or getting a main stage feature in the year 5. But the first 3 years of that, I think the focus has to be on building my brand and building those followers in music, because at the end of the day, you could have 10,000 followers on Instagram or whatever. And I learned this because I have a lot of followers, right? But that doesn't translate to plays at all. So you have to work on that. You have to be consistent and interesting. You can't just drop a song and be like, hey, I dropped a song. Right. It's like, who cares? Who gives a shit, right? So you have to be interesting, and that's one thing that I do applaud Lil Texas for, because very interesting character, cool ass guy. We've met a couple times. He's a cool ass dude, but it's just like he was able to take hardcore, put it into the mainstream, and people can't do that because there's been a lot of American hardcore DJs who just never made it interesting, right? So that's one thing I applaud him for, because now that opens up the door for me. And and you know, a lot of other DJs too. But yeah, I'm super glad, and he's a cool guy to top it off. So
yeah, he seems like
shout out
it.
Love Texas.
I've seen. I think but there's a video on your Instagram that he like left his hat in LA and you like found it for him, and yeah.
No, yeah. So yeah, we were like just DM him because I was like, oh, like you make some dope ass music, man. Let me send you some shit. So I sent him some stuff. He gave me some feedback, and yeah, then he was just playing a show kind of like randomly for Ben Nicky. And I was like, holy shit, like we have to go see him because me and my friends all like him. But I was like, oh, like I'll be there tonight, whatever. And then he's like, yo, I left my hat, like my cowboy hat, which is my brand, right? At my house. I forgot it when I started flying on the plane. He's like, can you get me one? And I was like, shit, I don't own a hat like that. So then I was like, you know what? Like, do you care, like, the quality of this hat? He's like, no, it just literally has to be a cowboy hat. Like, it could be, like, green, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. So I went to Party City. I was like, yo, there's a Party City like that's still open. And I'm going to ask to see the cowboy hat. So I go to Party City. It's, like, one of the cheapest, like, cowboy hats, and it's hella shiny. I'm like, no, that's all you have? And they're like, no, sorry, we actually have like a suede one. So they gave me like a nice, okay looking suede one, and I was like, shit, it's still plastic though. Yeah. Anyways, I go and give it to him, and he's like, dude, like, I want to thank you so fucking much for coming. Like, I don't know what I would have done without a hat. Right. It looked so fucking weird. Yeah. And he played this show with the hat. He's a cool dude though, man. Like,
that's awesome.
You know, not a lot of people are genuine in the business, but like he's cool. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. I've always heard positive things about him.
Cool guy.
We're going to start wrapping things up. Anything that's coming up in the horizons for the J Slai project in the next year or two?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't know about the next year or two, but we got some stuff coming up this year. April will be my first song release of the year.
Cool.
I've been working on this song for fucking ever, but it's the first one I ever had a vocalist, like someone.
Oh, sick. Cool.
Actually sang on my song that I know. I don't know them personally, but you know, Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
I know them from Twitter, right? But yeah, so I have a song with MJXO. She's a vocalist from Texas.
Cool.
And yeah, we finally got the mix down and mastered perfectly. So I'm excited for that. It's in April.
Nice.
I have an official remix for Tommy Sunshine and Morkian from Spain. And they have a song. I'm blanking out on the song name, but this song is really cool. It's called, let's see. So you guys can be on the lookout for this.
Yeah.
Just a second. So I have so many projects, bro. Like, I'm like, what's his name? What's the name of the song? Yeah. Hold on. This one's called Social Club, and it's an official remix. That should be out this year as well.
Awesome.
And one more thing is I have a collab with Fight Club.
Oh.
And I'm really excited about that.
They've been reviewing a lot of your songs and just like.
Yeah, it's awesome, really cool, man. Yeah. Because Fight Club, they're known for Moombahton and Dutch House and but not hardcore.
Right.
They like it, but they're not known for that, right?
Yeah.
So never in a million years would I thought like, oh, I'm gonna collab with Fight Club.
Right.
It's happening. That shit is happening because he's like, yo, we should do a track where it's like Moombahton and hardcore, and I was like, crazy you tell me that because I actually have a track that has those elements. So he's like, send it over. And so I sent it over and he's like, okay, like, let's fucking do this. So he has his stems now and he's excited about it. He was talking about it the other day on his live stream.
Awesome.
So I'm excited for that, man. He's a cool guy. Shout out Sav. He's really cool, man.
All right. Well, how can our listeners get in touch with you and follow you on your journey from this point forward?
All right. So my socials. So Twitter is going to be J Slai, JSLAI. And then that's where I post a bunch of random bullshit. So go see me talk shit over there. If you don't want to see me talk shit, you can go see me on Instagram. And it's J Slai _ JSLAI _. And then all my other socials are going to be music ones. So instead of following me on my actual socials, follow my music and listen to my music.
Yeah, man.
At J Slai.
I know I've been listening to a ton of your music lately, getting ready for this
Hey, I
interview.
appreciate
So
that, man.
it's great.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
one thing.
sure it'll wake you up in the morning.
Right? And yeah, man, maybe that's what I should do this morning. Or a long show day yesterday.
Yes.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm thankful for you for bringing some variety to, especially Northern California.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, and thank you for having me on. I wish you the best endeavors on your icon journey.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're an amazing school, and you will get a lot of knowledge really quick. So be prepared for a fast pace, but also make connections. And I can't wait to see what you're doing in the industry, man.
Thank you.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.